Hello, this is Adam Began, and I'm the host of Historically Haunted Show, where I talk about some very rare historical and haunted locations that I visited. I also interview some of the very best in the paranormal and cryptozoology field. So tune in every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Paranormal King Radio Network. And prepare to be educated about the unknown. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Historically Haunted Show. I have a great guest with me this week. Hopefully, everybody out there can hear me. I have someone that I've been kind of I haven't actually really met in person, but he's out in my neck of the woods, Maine, and I've been following him for a while, even before the Conjuring house, which is what he's known to be caretaker at. But being a Maine boy, I followed his work in Maine. He's known as Hauntington, because his last name is Huntington, so he goes by that. He's done a lot of work with Josh the Explorer, like I said, the Conjuring house in Rhode Island. But nonetheless, let's bring him on from Norway, hell himself, from Guilford, Maine. John Huntington, what's up, brother?
What's going on?
What's going on, homie?
I'm just at work. I didn't even know if I was gonna be able to call in or not. Like right before I get the call, there's like a roof leak at my work, and I'm like, well, shit, that can wait. So.
Oh, dude, I remember you were saying that you weren't sure, and I know you're kind of working on like solo right now. So if worse comes to worse and you got to go do it, I can fill in empty time, but we're gonna try to keep you for the full hour if we can. I appreciate you trying.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Killer. So yeah, we got a lot of people in chat. Wow, right off the bat, holy cow. People love the Conjuring house. That's a heavy hitter. So I'm gonna jump right to it. Nicole Gaspard, she runs a radio show called Real Haunted Connections every Wednesday night here on Paranormal King Radio Network. And she's been to a lot of places. She's been to the Queen Mary and the Winchester house out in California where she lives. She says, hi, John. She says, what is it like for you to meet Nick Groff at the Conjuring house? What was it like?
Oh, Nick Groff?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I met him like a couple years before that, briefly, and then so I heard that we're doing another live stream event, and that Nick Groff was going to run it, and Nick was awesome. Like, he came to the house, and he was just a normal guy, you know. And it was cool because like during the live stream, I was just kind of trying to stay out of the way or whatever. And then Nick was always like, "Where's John at? Can you go get John out here?" So I was like, "Oh, cool," you know. Like nobody else was calling me out, but Nick would be like, "Hey, where's John?"
Well, you're pretty well known too. Like I remember you played the fucking priest in the Conjuring thing.
Yeah.
And of course, doing a lot of work in Mexico with Corey back in the day, Heisen. But you know what's really cool that you and me have touched base on, and I want to get right to it because this is a killer story. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's actually a sad story, but John lived in the same apartment now in 1984. This girl, Angela Palmer, a 4-year-old child, basically was this Cynthia Palmer, her mother, 29, was dating a guy, John Lane, 36. He decided, of course, I think they were on drugs or really messed up. He put the little 4-year-old Angela Palmer at 4 years old into the oven, blocked it with a chair, burned her alive until she passed away. Neighbors complained of smoke. That was in Auburn, Maine, and the apartment building is still there. And John, you lived there for some time, did you not?
Yeah, I did. So I was living across from the YMCA with my roommate for a while, and this apartment had an opening. It was 2 bedrooms, and it was super cheap. So we're like, hey, yeah, we'll take it. We had no idea like what was going on there, or what the history was, or anything. And
right.
So I went back to the Y that night after moving in, and my boss was like, hey, do you know, where'd you move to? And I told him the address, which is like 317 Main Street, Auburn. And he's like, oh, no. He's like, do you know what happened there? And I'm like, no, I have no idea. So,
oh my God, dude.
Yeah. So he's like, I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to look it up. And I'm like, what? Why won't you tell me? It must be pretty bad. So I get home and I look it up and I'm like, oh my God. Like, so after moving in, I wasn't really into paranormal. Like I watched the shows and stuff a little bit, but so one day I was just recording on my phone. I was doing like a memo or something on my phone,
Mm-hmm.
and I played it back, and I heard a guy's voice say, "Hey John, you want to talk?" So I was like, just an
Yeah.
EVP out of the blue. Hey John, you want to talk?
Whoa.
So then so I'm like, wow, this is weird. Like I never really even tried to get an EVP before. And then I kept getting EVP. So I went out and bought a voice recorder, and we would actually, there'd be so many, there's so many spirits in that place. Like we would sit down and our friends would come over, we'd sit in a circle and just ask questions, play it back. And then we'd hear, voices answer them back. Like just
So
weird
there's more
shit.
than the girl there. There's more than the baby girl there. In your opinion?
Right. And I actually, on a spirit box, I actually had her say, "Hi, it's Angela." And I'd ask her like what she wanted for Christmas. She would say a brand new bike. She was pretty active. Like I brought her a toy mouse home from the Y, and she was like, "Mice?" Like she was all happy and to get it.
Dude. And see, I grew up. That painted wall. A lot of people don't know this is Auburn, Maine. It's right next to Lewiston. They call it the Twin Cities. They call it LA for it's a joke. But I lived across the street growing up on that painted wall. There's a big mural across the street. I lived in one of the houses up top of that hill till I was 6. So that happened actually in 1984 when I was there. I was only 4 years old. But in back of there, the Florians and shit, a lot of bums used to live out there, and some of them have died and froze to death. So there could be some wandering souls. And that building itself is pretty fucking old. So wow, that's crazy. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of how I met Corey too. Was so I started posting videos, and at first I didn't believe in spirit box stuff, and then I'm like, well, I'll try it out. I saw a couple people doing it, so and then I kept getting her coming through and saying my last name and swearing, and I'm just like, okay, this is legit,
Wow.
So
Made you a believer.
yeah, it made me a 100% believer, and like you could hear like chatter in my bedroom once in a while, and like I just about fall asleep and it'd kick the side of my bed, wake me up, stuff like that.
Wow. See, I go by there
Yeah.
with Heather because I grew up in Lewiston, Auburn area, in Lisbon and shit. And whenever I go by that apartment, I always tell Heather, I go, that's where the baby was burned in the oven. The guy said she was Lucifer and he burned her up, and he used to get thrown matches at him in prison when he got arrested, and people would call him a baby killer, and he changed his name. And holy shit. So, and you,
Yeah.
you, like you say, I mean, you seem like you've been into the electronical type shit forever. So I think you had a knack for that shit. And then coming into the field, because I want to talk a little bit about that, not to switch gears, but you're big into spirit boxes to where you actually make and design your own, so to speak, right? I mean, you sell them and raffle them off.
Yeah, I mean, I used to work on cars and stereos and stuff like that, and then I've always wanted to make spare boxes, and and I was always told, "Oh, it's too difficult, you can't do it, whatever." So eventually, I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna learn how to do it. I'm totally broke and I need some income, so I'm gonna learn how to make spare boxes.
But you're good at it, dude. I've seen your videos and shit. And just real quick, it's only 10 minutes into it. We got plenty of time, and I'll probably ask you again later. But I want you to plug that shit right now. Where can people find that stuff? Do you have a web page, a Facebook page? Where can people find ways to get a hold of your boxes?
On my YouTube channel, I do have some listed in one of the videos on there.
Okay.
And also you can just contact me on Facebook directly, and I sell them pretty cheap. I'm probably like the cheapest one out there. So
And they're
I
pretty
mean,
cool. They're cool.
yeah, usually I sell them for like $99, and I'll even throw in like a REM pod with it. So
That's cool. No, that's cool. John, it says Huntington because that's what another page. We'll talk about that later, but his real name is Huntington. John Huntington. He's a pretty cool dude. Just be cool with him, and he'd be more than cool with you. And he'll get you like a good deal in a spirit box. Like, John's been around, dude. He started out in Maine. Like I said, he's been doing shit. He was caretaker of the Conjuring. You've done a lot of shit with one of my heroes, Josh the Explorer, who I've been following since 2015. Kind of my inspiration of the shit that I kind of do. Honestly, it's a little tip of the hat to him. How did you and him hook up? I'm just curious personally. That's my question.
it's kind of a cool story. So I was staying off and on at the Conjuring house after Ghost Adventures did their thing, and I did the priest and everything. And I was up in Maine, and I had a place in Maine, in Wyndham, and Corey called me and was like, hey, Exploring with Josh is going to be down here. I think you could come down and help them out investigating. They don't really know much about investigating. And I didn't even know who he was. I was like, okay, you know, I didn't even look him up or anything.
No shit, no shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea who he was. So I drove down to the Conjuring house in a huge storm. It was like snowing and like a blizzard. It took me 7 hours, and it should take me like 3. And so I was a little late. And if you watch the video with Josh, his first ghost hunting video ever, he'll tell you like nothing happened until this guy John showed up, and then like all hell broke loose with us, and that's how I met Josh. And after we investigated together on the way out, he's like I live like 15 minutes down the road. If you want to do more ghost stuff with me, let me know. So we kind of just became friends first before I even knew he had a big channel. So.
Oh, that's
And we're still
pretty
friends
cool.
to this day. We talk all the time. So
Yeah, so you guys definitely click. Like in the videos I saw you guys did together and shit. I was like, wow, you guys definitely. It seems like you've almost known each other for a long time. The way you kind of just are into it. He's into the exploring, you're into the ghost, and you guys just kind of meet in the middle and work on it. It's pretty fucking cool chemistry. But honestly, dude, yeah, you do your own thing with Hauntington. For you guys out there, HAUNTING shit. I'm pretty stoned. HAUNT, right? Haunt INGTON. It's like Huntington,
yeah,
but with an A, yeah. And that's his a little Facebook thing he does. I think it's his YouTube stuff too, but it's a lot of content because you kind of do it all, man. You're into like, I mean, you're kind of like into the monster shit, UFO shit, but you do, I guess almost anything. You're kind of down with doing anything when you're not working, right? I mean, you're pretty cool.
yeah,
Ladies and
definitely.
yeah.
Um, and I don't know if anybody's seen the Sleepless Unrest movie that we did. That was pretty cool. It was all right, I guess. What do you think of it?
Yes.
Did you watch it at all?
I actually did watch that. Sleepless Unrest with yes, a couple. They went in there. The guy Vera, right, is her name. I think I'm friends with them
Yeah,
on Facebook. Yeah, and they went in
Fair
there and they
Campbell.
had you guys all set up. I mean, the Conjuring house itself, dude. I remember even before Corey got it. I remember the girl having problems because people snuck on it, and of course, the
Oh,
movie really
yeah.
brought it to light with Bathsheba. Which that Bathsheba's a real witch. Her grave's down there, right?
Well, I don't. They say she's not really a witch. Like she lived she lived down the street at another farm, and she might have came to visit the house once in a while or something like that. But she's buried in like a cemetery that a witch wouldn't be buried at, I guess they said.
Holy, yeah. Cemeteries weren't really for the Salem. They didn't do that in Salem, but there was a
Yeah.
Bathsheba at least, though. Her graves, that's pretty epic.
Yeah, there was definitely Bathsheba, and you'd get Bathsheba a lot on the spare box, EVPs.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Like she could be there. I mean, we don't know 100% sure of the history. So
Right. And I've heard everything from soldiers being buried up front to the woman that hung herself to people drowning in the river. I mean, I followed that way long ago. Of course, being a big fan of Ed and Lorraine and the whole crew. There was a question. Well, oh, someone wants to know about the Conjuring house. It's funny, Nicole again. She didn't know if you wanted to talk about it or not. She didn't know if it was creepy to you. John handled a lot of creepy shit, so I'm sure he don't mind. Conjuring house, he did that for years. I mean, you slept there practically alone some nights. I remember watching it first when you guys would go live, dude.
yeah. So the beginning of the pandemic, I actually stayed there for a whole month straight alone, because Corey and Jen couldn't really. There was like a thing where you couldn't leave the state for a while, so we're all just kind of stuck where we were. So
Hunkering down, yeah.
yeah, so that was kind of odd being there alone for a whole month. I
Please
started to do it.
tell our listeners, man, what happened. Come on, give me some hair raising shit.
Well, the scariest part of the Conjuring house is just the trespassers. Like they'd be like do the craziest shit trying to get on in the house, and it was fun to watch. But yeah, I had so much stuff happen there. I have like a whole year's worth of evidence on YouTube. It's crazy. When I was alone, probably one of the craziest things that happened during the pandemic when I was alone. I'd video every day, you know, try to capture something or go live, like you said, and I was setting up stuff. I was about to go live, and all of a sudden I hear, and luckily I was recording everything I was setting up, like I usually do, and then I hear I hear do 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 across the stairs, like
Wow.
someone's
I
running,
remember
and I'm
Corey
like,
saying that a lot, that there was a lot of movement, a lot of walking, a lot of thumping, always about it. You're never alone, truly.
yeah, like I thought, oh well, maybe it's an animal, or something. So I'm like, okay, if somebody's really up there, bang twice for me. And right after I asked, it banged hard on the floor, like right above me. So
Wow.
I was like, oh my god.
Wow. That house is what, 17, like 90 or something? It's wicked fucking old to boot. It's
1736, but they started building it in 1680.
wow, dude, before the witch
And it's
trials, and then
yeah,
it finished. That's a big part of Harrisville. That's a big part of Rhode Island, allure, and just the farm itself. I mean, like you say, how many Civil War people have walked through those lands, and Revolutionary War and so on.
yeah, I know. Like even the land's haunted there. Like I remember walking out back during a live stream, and I hadn't really done anything live out back, and and I was live streaming, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think it's too haunted out here. And all of a sudden, I hear somebody laugh next to me, and I caught it on the live stream, and I was like, okay, maybe it is haunted.
Oh fuck! I tell you, um, that's I can't see it, guys. I got goosebumps because I'm scared of that shit. But like, we're all weirdos. We love this shit, even though it scares us, right? And Nicole, I think Nicole just shared your link. You guys gonna subscribe? Hit that notification bell. Follow this dude. Check out his old videos. And John's still friends with these cats. Like I said, he's rolling with Josh the Explorer. He does stuff with Corey Conjuring House. Plus, he just does stuff alone. Do you chase stuff in Maine, right? Do you do like UFOs and monsters, like Bigfoot type shit?
I don't. No, I really don't. I
No.
I do like Bigfoot stuff, and I do like UFOs. When I was younger, I was really interested in it, always looking for something. But
You'd be
I had a
willing to
chance to
then.
go Bigfoot hunting with Josh, but I had to get back to Maine, so I was like so disappointed. It would have been so much fun.
So maybe if you get a couple days off this summer, you and I can go look for the Dover Demon or something in Massachusetts, or maybe.
Yeah, we gotta do something. I
You
mean,
saw
what's
me
your
one day
closest one out,
delivering
dude?
shit in Domino's or something in fucking Biddeford, and you didn't flag me down, you bastard. But
Yeah, I saw you delivering, and I was with my girlfriend. I thought it was you, but I wasn't 100% sure. And then you left, so I was like, oh. No.
yeah, we gotta hook up, man. Between you and me, man, we make some good shit. So we gotta hook up this summer, and maybe I don't know. I'll show you some shit where there's some like that. I don't know, man. There's places where there's. I know you're kind of up, like by. Oh, you're way up there though. But I mean, I don't
I
mind
know.
driving up.
It sucks being way up here
I
sometimes.
mean, are you by Bucksport, like Colonel Buck's tomb and shit?
Not really. I'm not near anything, pretty much. I'm near Greenville.
Fucking John. John retreated to the woods. John is Bigfoot now. He went in there with like a baby's face, and now he's got a huge beard, I bet, and fucking who knows. Seriously though, what have you been up to? You got any plans or anything in the future for hunts or anything going on, or you can talk about?
Um, I do. I'm supposed to. I'm going with Explorer Josh. And like we're trying to figure out some places in Maine actually. We're thinking Fort Knox, and there's a house that I've already investigated that I got like crazy stuff, and within just like 2 hours, we're probably
No,
gonna go
no, no.
there.
You got to hit you and Josh. Come on, dude. I've been watching that guy since 2016. You come down here, and all I ask, I don't have to be on camera. Just let me watch. Come pick me up, and I'll bring you to some places. You know me, dude. I'm a guru.
Yeah, you
I
know
got
every place.
I got some good shit. I got places, dude, and I'll share with you. I usually don't share with anybody because I'm like fuck everybody because no one wants to do shit. But if you want to
Right.
just, if seriously, man, if I can just go and just whatever, I'll hold the camera and I'll record you guys. I will fucking show you some cool shit, John. I would love to. It'd be my.
Awesome. I'd love to do that.
Please do. There's abandoned shit. I know where the 19 people died making gunpowder in the Civil War. Right in Wyndham, ironically enough. I stay there. My sister lives there. I stay there sometime, hang out with her. And you saying you lived in Wyndham earlier. That's why I was like, oh shit. You must have heard of Gambo, right? Gambo Powder Mill.
Yeah, my daughter and I used to walk down that trail over there all the
Oh,
time.
you know about
I
that
actually
trail.
did a spirit box session there one time,
Oh,
actually.
you already know. I got more up my sleeve, but that one's, I figured if you live in Wyndham, you must know. But 19 guys died making, that was the second biggest producer of bullets in the Revolutionary War besides
Oh,
Chicago.
wow.
Yeah, seriously. And 19 men died in 2 years in explosions because they're making granite slats and breaking it into gunpowder, which is why they get that big rock that big circle that had a big grist mill, and you see big slates, and it's got that big trail. But dude, oh my god, that's killer. I forgot you had a daughter. That's really cool. She's must be what, I think 9 or 10 by now, right? 12.
No, my daughter's gonna be 20.
Oh shit, she's older. I
And
remember
then
she was younger in videos a couple years back. She's grown then. Is she into this stuff? Does she follow in dad's footsteps a little bit?
so it's funny, she's not really into it. But if she does, like, she's done it a few times, and when she does, she's like crazy good with the spirit box. Like, they'll be like swearing up a storm, and she'll just be laughing, and it's
She's a knock off
crazy.
the block, dude. She's her old man, dude. That's killer. We should be making fucking spirit boxes before you know it, brother.
Yeah, I mean, but she's not into it now. She's like more grown up than I am. Like, she has like
John.
2 jobs, her own place, a new car. Like, she's styling, and I'm just like, wow, you're better than your
well,
dad. I'm so proud of you.
we always want our kids to do better than us. That's the old philosophy. You want our kids to do better, and it's so to
That's true.
speak. And that's good. I mean, think about it, dude. If she's that focused and determined with going through Corona and everything at a young age, God bless her, dude. Ross, who talked to you before the show, my boss, he's a great dude. He thinks you're great. He says, hey, John, King says, what spirit box would you consider, in your opinion, the best quality or just the best in general, I guess?
Wow, there's just so many different ones. Trying to
Besides
think ones
yours.
that I've got besides mine, yeah. The small ones I use, that I make out of these little Leo techs. Now, they're really finicky. Like, they're hard to get just right, but they get amazing responses for some reason. Like, direct stuff. Like, Josh is using them and used them all in all his UK videos, and he wants to put them in his store as well. Eventually, here, we're working on it, getting the flaws out of it, but because it's hard to get just right, and it's not really for a beginner. Because it can be frustrating for somebody that can't get it adjusted perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
But I've had no complaints selling them, though. I've had no complaints at all. The best spirit box, I think, are Frank's box, hands down, but they're like thousands of dollars.
I was gonna say those are wicked expensive, but they get great ratings, great reviews, dude. That's top notch shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I've used them a few times, and they're insanely good. Like, I've always wanted one. Corey's had one. My friend Jen Berman used to let me have one. And I also want to say I have a daughter in Scotland too, just in case they're listening. I have a daughter in Scotland.
We reach overseas. That's awesome. Yeah, give her a shout out. Say her name. Seriously, dude, this is uncut, uncensored. You can say anything you want. Just don't like literally bash anybody. But other than that, yeah, give shout outs, John. Absolutely, brother. In Scotland. That's
I don't know
amazing.
if they're listening or not, but I have a daughter in Scotland. Her name's Emma Marie. She's like 2 years old. So.
Oh, God bless her.
Her mom's a psychic that wrote a book too, so God only knows what she's going to turn out to be like. So.
Oh boy, psychic ghost hunter mix. Boy, oh boy. Well, this is going on, dude. Like I said, this goes on everything: Spotify, Mixler, iTunes, Facebook, YouTube. So this will be she can listen to this in 20 years. Her daddy giving her a shout out. So good man.
Yeah, I didn't want to leave her out.
No, absolutely, dude. You're a fucking good man, and you work hard. And I know life isn't always fair to all of us, but you fucking trug on. We all trug on, and you do what's right. And we're talking to John Huntington. I hate to say all the labels he is, because he really is himself, and that's all that matters, because he's a fucking good dude. But he is the former caretaker of the Conjuring house. He's been working with Josh the Explorer. You guys know him, a YouTube channel. And he did live in a haunted house, so to speak, where a child was put in the oven and killed at 4 years old. But I brought him on because he's John Huntington, and he's a good dude. His YouTube channel, he knows his shit. You guys should really check him out. Check out his stuff. Check out his spirit boxes, and help a brother out, man. You do anything? Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead, brother.
One of my favorite times at the Conjuring house was that first Dark Zone, where we did a whole week live stream. Did you ever watch any of that?
I know I did a lot, because you guys did it with lights off a lot, and I'd had to listen. I remember that because you guys would leave lights on in the room with the Ouija boards, the living room.
Yeah, and it was just like the craziest week I've ever had. Like, so somehow the live streams got leaked out onto YouTube, right? And like 8.5 million people on one channel watched it.
Oh my
And like,
God. Oh my fucking word. Well, that's where I watched it. You didn't mean for that? When you guys were in the seance room and you were on the table? Oh my God. I felt like I
yeah,
was there. That was wild.
like when I was asking it, if there's any demons here, and it was like, there's no demons, John, like perfectly clear on the on the
Yeah,
Simon Cox's boxes. And
it said his name. You guys got to
but
check that shit out.
so it's funny because 8.5 million people watched it, and then during the live stream, like they filmed everything the whole time where you're doing sleeping, whatever, snoring. So so dumb me, I'm like, hey guys, if you want to add me on Facebook, you can. And all of a sudden my phone just blew up. Like I had 4,000 some friend requests within a few minutes.
I believe it. I
And it
believe
wouldn't
it.
stop. It wouldn't stop. Like I tried to message my girlfriend, and her message would disappear like behind like hundreds of others. And I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah. And like I said, you're not really new to this field, so to speak, but that kind of was your catapult. Especially the priest. Like I remember seeing you the priest. I was like, "Holy fuck, that's fucking John in the priest suit." Like when you, that was what was that? Paranormal 9? No, what the fuck was that when you played the priest? What was that? A documentary?
That was that was uh that was Ghost Adventures.
That's what it
Uh,
was. That's right. Yes,
Haunting of Harrisville.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes, that's when. Yes, that's right too. I was trying to remember because you've been on a couple different ones, but you played the priest and you did the blessing. I was like, "Oh my God, it's so funny." You of all people. I'm just kidding. You're a good dude. Surprised you didn't burn up. No, just kidding. Seriously, dude, that's you've seen some shit, and like I didn't realize it was that long. I thought you only stayed there for 2 weeks. I didn't realize it was a whole month that you stayed there during the pandemic alone. That's pretty wild. And Harrisville's
Yeah.
not exactly like a big town with its like police and like you're kind of on your own out in that little small town in Rhode Island. Sort of right. I mean, it's kind of a hope town, right?
Yeah, it is. It's in the middle of nowhere. You have to drive. I'm more in the middle of nowhere now where I live, but it was
Yeah.
like 6 miles. It was like 6 miles to any like Walmart or anything like that.
Wow.
And at the time, I would just have like, because I wasn't making any money or anything, staying at the house, so I'd have like this like food pantry. It was like a LGBTQ food pantry, bring me food every week. They would just drop it at my door.
That's fucking awesome. What a riot. You can't make that shit up. Fucking John. John, we got a question. Fucking A. Melissa Keene says, "Hey, John, you have any experiences with the Ouija board?" Which I know there was a lot set up, but I'll let you answer that.
I do. I have used Ouija boards. I never really record it because nobody like, everybody's like, oh, you pushed it or whatever. But so I used to use them by myself, and they would work by myself. Corey was always like, BS, it doesn't work. So I'm like, all right, let's test it. So one day we're at this place investigating, and he's like, all right, how many fingers am I holding up behind my back? And I wasn't looking at him, and it kept saying how many fingers on the Ouija board.
Oh, that's a killer test. I never thought of that. That's
And he's like, get out of here.
Psychic, but you're not. No shit, dude.
Yeah.
Because you see the Conjuring house, the pictures, and you see this. Of course, it's decoration, but this Ouija board, just like Lizzie Borden. But I didn't know if you guys actually did that shit. But because you seem like the type of dude where you're not a debunker. Like you're not like I was saying. You obviously believe, but you're kind of a debunker, right? I mean, you kind of go into it with a let's make sure it's scientifically proven, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm really bad at debunking people's stuff on like like different pages and stuff, but just like I don't know, the normal things like bugs and dust and
Orbs.
And I remember I watched one video the other day. This lady thought some kind of spirit rose from the middle of her street on her camera, and all it was you could see the camera, you could see the windowsill. All it was her cell phone glaring off the side of the window.
Oh.
And I zoomed in.
In her heart, she wanted to believe, right? I mean, fuck.
No, I felt bad, and I showed it to her. I slowed it down, showed it to her, and she was like, ah. It's like, I really wanted to believe that was a ghost, but thank you for telling me. But I just thought that was funny.
Well, I think people are going to respect that. You really want that. I mean, that way, when we do see one, if we ever really have the proof, all those other times, like, fuck, it's worth it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I got to ask you personally, have you actually ever seen like an apparition? Like, have you seen a specter, full body?
When I was little, I would see things all the time. Like, I grew up in a house where I'd actually see them. They would stand by my bed. They would do shit to my animals. Like, I'd get blamed for it
Wow.
as a kid. Like, they'd stuff them in my toy box, and we'd get
Wow.
home, and they would be like, "Why did you do that?" I was like, I was a little kid. I was like, "No, I was with I was with my parents. Obviously, I didn't do it."
Yeah.
So, we lived
Wow.
in a crazy haunted house growing up, like really
Was
bad.
that in
We had to
Durham,
move.
right?
That one we lived in was Cambridge, Maine. It was, I was like, we moved out when I was 7, and I still remember everything to this day because it was so haunted and scary. Like, I used to cry when I was a kid just talking about it because it was so scary.
Like what? I'm sorry, don't cry now, but let's hear it. That's good radio. We got
Um,
a lot of listeners. Thank you guys for checking in, by the way, in chat. You guys are all awesome.
so one time I was going to the bathroom when I was a kid, and I looked up in the window. There's a window by the shower, and there's these arms, like green colored arms, spinning in like circles. And I stood there and just stared at it. Like, I couldn't scream, I couldn't move,
What the
and it
fuck?
just kind of went away. And then another time, my mom could see spirits. She was kind of, they called her schizophrenic, um, but she woke me up. She used to wake me up, and one time she woke me up, and there was like these shadows going around in circles in the kitchen, and you could hear them actually like shuffling their feet as they went around the kitchen. And we stood there. My mom was scared to death, of course, and we just stood there together until it stopped. And radios would turn on by themselves, and yeah, just things like that. Like,
Wow.
um,
That was
and I
where you say,
remember
I'm sorry, but you say Newcastle or not Newcastle? Where was it in Maine?
Cambridge, Maine.
Cambridge. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And I remember we moved out, and my friend, his mom bought the place, and I stayed the night. And I kid you not, this is the craziest thing ever. We're upstairs having a sleepover, and it's just me and my friend and his mom, and we hear a chainsaw start up in the basement.
Oh boy.
And I'm like, holy shit. Like, and he's like, I'm not, well, I was probably only like 8 or 9. And I'm like, I'm not going down there. He's like, I'm not going down there either. And his mom's
Wow.
like, I'm not going down there either. So,
Dude, and
um,
that's a pretty undeniable sound. It's not like it's like a washing machine turning up and goes out of the breeze. A chainsaw is a fucking chainsaw. You know what a chainsaw is, right? I mean, Chainsaw Massacre. So that's wow. So you've kind of
yeah,
you've been in tune with John. You've been in tune with this field, so to speak, your whole life, really. Even before you witnessed it. I get maybe you said earlier you witnessed it with the spirit box that kind of get you started. You've kind of always been in tune with it. It seems like
yeah, I would always just kind of avoid it. I never talked about it much.
a lot of
And
people the
then,
same way. Yeah.
yeah,
Jimmy checks in. Jimmy Pentonito, Jimmy Haunted with Jimmy Hauntington. Jimmy's part of Nesper. He's a good dude. He says, "What's up?" And he goes, "Green arms?" Question mark. Holy moly!
yeah,
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 that's some UFO type shit. That Jimmy UFO Jimmy. That's funny. Thank you for tuning in, Jimmy. I appreciate it. We're talking to John Huntington today. John's one of my main brethren, a Maine boy like me. He's kind of been all across this nation, so to speak, but he finds his home in Maine for now, and it's up in the Maine woods. We kind of laugh at it, dude, but honestly, that's kind of a killer area where you're at. There's a lot of nothing, which I get it, but at the same time, with the crazy shit going on, that's a place people are buying up like mad right now.
yeah. It's not so bad, especially in the summer and stuff. The winter's kind of brutal, but I mean, it's not a
Yeah.
bad area somewhere to go ATV in and shit like that. But
I gotta ask you a question, guys, and feel free to ask more questions or ones that have. Oh, I'm sorry, King asked a question. What other LTC people do you work with? I don't know what that means. What's an LTC person? Do you know what that means?
no idea.
Okay, specify, King. I don't know if you're smoking a joint or what, but that doesn't make sense. Anyway, so my question, um, do you stop at like me? Do you stop at random cemeteries just for shits and giggles and just check shit out? Do you do exploring on your own? I mean, because you seem like you're like me. Like obviously you work, you get your daughters, but I feel like you kind of live with this shit. Do you kind of just do your own thing out there?
I do. I want to do more exploring. Like, I went to the Fernald with a group a while back, and actually, I mean, we spent the whole day there. It's in Massachusetts. I'm sure you know where it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a huge, huge place, and I had the best time ever. Like, I want to do more exploring for sure. Like, I enjoy it. Like, I love ghost hunting, but exploring is just like, it's nice and chill, and you never know what you're gonna find. I love doing that stuff.
Oh, and you can, yeah, you don't do like even today, brother. I mean, I don't you know if you saw my Facebook page, but I went door dashing. I'm staying at a buddy's in New Hampshire, Rochester. I door dashed in Durham and Dover, and I went by fucking 5 or 6 of those big green signs you always see in New Hampshire. I went by a place today, bro, real quick to turn it on me or nothing, but this dude, and I post pictures later, guys. I went live early if you see my Facebook page. This dude in 1895, this guy stole horses. He was a horse thief and a carriage thief, and the sheriff's deputy caught him and was going to go apprehend him, and he shot the sheriff's deputy, right? So the sheriff's deputy, as he's like getting mended up, he didn't want the guy to go to the lynches, and he even says on this big green sign, didn't want him to be hung. So the sheriff's deputy died of his gunshot wound getting infected of blood, and the dude that killed him now, who's a murderer on top of being a horse thief, escaped prison, dude, and they never found him again. And that's in fucking Barrington, New Hampshire, brother. I saw the sign today, and I started doing research. I go, this poor bastard, Mr. Smith, a sheriff's deputy, he died in vain, saved the guy's life, and no one fucking knows about this poor bastard. So I love the stuff no one knows. I love being the first to find something or tell something no one knows. And I know you're like that too. So I think you and me should team up. And I'm going to say that because we can record it. This is all being recorded. But
yeah, I'm game. I
seriously,
I'm
I know you.
game.
I know.
I have nothing to do with it.
I know you got a lot of time, but I know it's funny because remember that beach, dude, in Saco. A chick died, her body washed ashore, and you're like, I was just on that beach, and I was like, I live right mile down the road.
Yeah, I was literally on that beach when it happened. There was police there, and I'm like, why is there so many police here? And then I saw on the news, I was like, damn.
They found her body. They said it was rolling in the tide on the beach. They still don't know why she died. They say natural causes. She was 70, but that was right in Biddeford Pool area. She fucking washed up on the beach, and John's like, I saw that today because I posted something about it. And I'm like, oh, we're gonna hook up. Let's see. I want to know what kind of food they left you when you were by yourself. Oh yeah. So with that month alone in the Conjuring house, did will he get drop offs by the LBG? The rainbow flag. Flag. Oh, sorry, by the rainbow flags. They dropped off food and stuff. He must have did. Yeah. I mean, you can still do dominoes and shit, right?
Yeah, just basic. So another cool thing about the Conjuring house, like I'm not acting like I was hungry all the time or anything, because when I did that week live stream, I would legit be like, oh man, you know, I like a pizza or something, and then there would be a pizza at the door. Like people would just send me shit. Like,
dude, you were a rock star for a while. I'm friends with Brittany. I think Spencer is her name now that she's kind of going through like a divorce, but from Maine. She thinks the world of you guys at the Conjuring house. And you have a following, dude, and you're a good dude. John Huntington, man, you guys got this cat. He's been working his ass off. So he's been kind of quiet lately, but he does stay up on his YouTube. HAUNTINGTON on Facebook. Cool. You got some good projects. We got about 20 minutes left, 25 minutes or so. Anything you want to talk about? Anything that you want to bring up before I forget, or we run out of time?
I was just going to tell everybody, like, the reason why I'm in Maine. It's kind of a weird story. So I was driving up to visit my mom just shortly after leaving the Conjuring house, and on the way up, I get a phone call saying my uncle had passed. And my uncle had an apartment right across from my mom. So, and my mom has Alzheimer's. So I figured, I called the landlord. I knew the landlord before because I lived in apartments when I was like 12. And I asked her if I could rent it so I could keep an eye on her. And she's like, yeah, sure. If you don't mind living in, you know, your dead uncle's apartment. I'm like, no, I'll even help clean it up. So
Attaboy.
I literally went up there, helped my aunt, and then clean up the mess, and now I'm living across the hall from there. And yeah, the rent's cheap, so I can't complain.
That's good on you, because that's what we do in this field, man. I tell you what, there's some fucking shizers, but you put your family first. Okay, fuck TV shows, reality shows, and all these people that just think their shit don't stink because, like, Nick Goff's fine and all, but I'm not gonna fucking bow or bend for anybody in this field, dude. None of these people fucking. We're all living people. We all shit, and we're about taking care of each other. When it comes down to it, if you don't take care of your family, you're nobody, and you're sacrificing a lot for your family, and that's good on you, John. I'm more proud to know you now than ever, dude. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry for your loss, and I'm sorry for what you're going through. And I know it's tough being a parent. I can imagine. Um, and you still find time to help out people and give people deals on spirit boxes, which you guys can purchase off John on his YouTube channel or his Facebook page. Make him an offer, give him a tip. He's got some good work, plenty of videos. This is one of the good guys in the field. This is someone you want on your side. John Huntington, guys. Huntington also. So that's cool, man. I'm glad you excited to come on, and we're gonna get you on the vodcast on Saturday so we can see your pretty mug. And but I
I don't
want
know. I've
to
been in
do
Maine pretty long, so
I want to do when you're not working though, so we can see your boxes. I want to kind of have you show off the bells and whistles. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I just started a new job this week. Like I've been here. This is my 4th night, so
You can't have something right off.
but yeah, I definitely love to show what I make.
Yeah, we'll
Make
get
all
you this
kinds of
summer.
different ones.
It's still early. We'll get you like in June or July. Maybe you can get a Saturday off or whatever. Or I can work around it, dude. Honestly, it's vodcast. Even with this radio show, my boss is cool. If you get Tuesdays off, we'll do a Tuesday vodcast. Whatever's best for you, dude. I really appreciate you're easy to talk to. You're great to talk to. Very knowledgeable. We got 20 minutes, man. Let's wrap. What's your go-to for bands? Are you a metalhead, country boy? You like rap? Seriously, let's make it fun.
I am all over the place. Like
I love that.
Lately, I've been on an Exodus kick. Like I saw
Fuck.
one of your friends mentioned Exodus, and I was like, I looked them up because I like different metal bands. I looked them up, and now I can't stop listening to them. And then,
Are you serious?
Yeah, and then I'm weird though. Like some days I'll be like, I feel like 80s. I'll put on some like some 80s music, or like today I had like Merle Haggard on the way in. I'm just
country badass. Dude, that's killer because I was in a band called Culling the Herd, and that's an Exodus song. That's why. And someone said, yeah, it's an Exodus song. I go, yeah, they were called Culling the Herd before I was in that band, which means, of course, killing the weak of the flock, basically. Main band that I was in. We got carried the Lamb of God and stuff, but that's killer. You're going to turn on the Exodus by that fucking one statement. I love that. 80s rock, someone put. Yeah, I love that all too. Motley Crue, Judas Priest. You go for any rap or anything? You got country. You said Merle Haggard. That's David Allen Co. country stuff.
Yeah, I like rap too. It depends on the day. Like
the mood.
If I feel like some bass in my car, I'll put some rap on. Or
if you're kind of pissed at the world, you throw on some death metal. If you're feeling decent, you'll put on some reggae or rap, whatever. What you go to for meals, my brother? What's your thing to order? Like, are you a lasagna guy, pizza? What's your cheat type of splurge meal?
Oh man, I've been bad lately, man. Everything's my splurge meal.
Hey, dude, seafood's coming back. I had some fried clams last week in Scarborough. It was fucking delicious.
I woke up and ate Swiss rolls for breakfast this morning. That's how bad I am.
Oh, he's a little Debbie boy. I like that. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I'm going to ask you a question that usually gets brought up. No one seemed to ask it yet, and it's kind of a favorite of our guest. What's a couple of your bucket list places? You can go worldwide and then America. You can mix it up, or just in general. Give me a couple of your bucket lists.
Well, I wanted to go to the UK with Josh, but I couldn't because I owed so many bills or something, so I couldn't get a passport.
Yep.
I want to go to the UK. I want to go to like Dracula's castle and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I've been to so many places. Like I want to go out west. I haven't been out west. I've been to a lot of places in like Ohio and stuff like that. Like we were on a trip a few months ago to Trans-Allegheny, and we've been to Waverly and all that stuff, and Bobby Mackey's and.
The fucking well in the basement. I hear so much about the highway to hell, or the entrance to hell, they call it, or whatever, right?
Yeah, Trans-Allegheny is probably the most haunted place I've ever been to in my life.
Really?
Yeah, it's like the best. It really is. If you get a chance to go there, go. It's
I haven't. Wow. Eastern State Penn was pretty wild. I was a self-guided tour, but I'd say for me, it was probably St. Albans in Virginia was pretty active. But Trans-Allegheny, I haven't been there yet in Ohio. I hear so much good shit about that place.
it's
Wow.
it's insane. I mean, it was like Waverly was really good too, but Trans was like nonstop. Like we were in the same spot for like 2 hours, just interacting with stuff, and
Wow.
we were like, damn, we got to go investigate more of the place, you know.
No
But
shit, really? So you would
yeah,
definitely go
like
back there in a heartbeat then, if you could, or whatever, if it was all set up.
yeah, definitely, because we in Waverly we didn't even get to the tunnels. Like we need to go back. Like we got to the tunnel, and then it was time to leave. So we're like, shit.
Oh, the
So we
body
didn't get to go
shoot
down the
tunnel
tunnel.
thing. So you haven't been like Nicole, the one who's in chat there. She lives in California. Like I said earlier, she's been to like Queen Mary and the Winchester House and the Whaley House and all that shit. That's places you'd like to go out west, then I think.
Hell yeah, or like Arizona and stuff. I'd love to go out there.
Roswell, brother. Yeah, boy.
Uh,
Oh shit.
yeah,
I could see you and me having some fun this summer. Especially when my mom's house is for sale. If I end up getting the money I think I'm gonna get myself an RV into a haunted road trip. I'll fucking pay you to fucking come with me, motherfucker. Let's go
that'd be
look for some
amazing.
shit. I know because, dude, I've seen you in the videos, and I got a reason to butter you up, John. I don't get paid enough to butter anybody up on this fucking show. So I'm gonna tell you straight up, dude. I watch your shit and I respect your work. I like how you approach things. I like what you use for products, and I like how you talk. And I feel like I know it sounds masculine because, of course, you have fear, but I feel like there's not a lot that you would not do. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't really get scared. Like I like if you've seen the video on Sleepless
The
Unrest when the
composure is
door
always
slammed in
still.
front of my face, I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
that's scary.
Shit that
It
I
doesn't
watch
bother
and go,
me.
oh boy, and you're like, oh shit, and I'm like, it almost seems like it's how the fuck do you not get scared? But I think you do, but you hold your own and you realize it can't. I don't know, man. You got a respect for it, but you hold your own, dude. So that's kudos to you.
Yeah, I don't really overreact. And it's funny because when I go with Josh and them, I mean, when you see them reacting like that, that's legit. Like they're so excited when they get stuff.
Like
Like, you
I
know,
feel that.
some
I'm a,
YouTubers are just like faking it, but they're like really legit, like excited when they get stuff. And I'm just over there in the corner just laughing because I think it's funny just
I
watching
always
them.
look
Like,
at it like it was
yeah.
almost like not a buzzkill, but I'm like there's John going, oh yeah, big deal. Yeah, okay, so a ghost talk. But I'm like Josh, I'm the ADHD type because I really do have it, and I'm the type of guy where I fucking shit my bricks if I see a haunted building. You know me, dude. Well, you don't know me, but you see my shit enough. You follow each other on Facebook, and I get excited, and then you're the
I
one to
love it.
be like. You need that yin and yang in an expert thing, so that's killer. I'm sorry, Nicole. Let me get to her. She asked you another great questions tonight, Nicole. She wants to know, John, Mr. Huntington, has anything ever followed you home that you know of?
So, well, I had like a weird attachment from the Conjuring house. Was probably it's kind of the reason why I had to leave there. But I had Bobby Mackey's. I had something follow me home. Where it was just like it's like a weird energy. It would like do things in my house. It did it like for a week. Like it would like when I first got home, I pushed like cereal my cereal package down into the box and like knocked the box over, like weird things like that.
Wow.
After I got back, and then it went away after a while, and then returned to normal. But
They like to fuck with you.
yeah,
Do you think that you kind of let this stuff kind of play with you? Because it seems to me like you don't let it bother you. Most people would either run or get mad and say, leave me alone. But you got to kind of like, oh, you dropped my cereal. Fuck off. Whatever. You seem like you don't let it bother you, I noticed, which is kind of cool.
it doesn't. Nothing. The only place, like I said, Trans-Allegheny is the only place that ever bothered me. I wouldn't go alone. There's no way.
Wow. Really? That's coming from
Yeah.
you, dude. I've seen you withstand pretty legit tall. Wow. Wow. That's impressive. That makes me want to go. Is that wrong? I want
I
to see.
know.
I've heard so much good shit. Um, you must have. This is a question for me. You must have been to Salem. I mean, we live so close. You like Salem?
Yeah, I love Salem. It's a great
Yeah.
town. Yeah, it's kind of, it's kind of, what do you call it? Like business now. It's all business pretty much.
Yeah. I get that feeling downtown. This stuff. Yeah. That's, I don't know. And it's cool. I mean, obviously you can buy sage anywhere, and I love all that lore shit, but there's so much history between the pirates and Plymouth and everything else. And of course the witches and the men and women that weren't, it's not warlocks. Men were witches too. Warlocks were a whole nother entity. So
Right.
that's really cool. I dig that. What's one of your favorite places in Maine to go? Because Maine doesn't get a lot of love. I know it's Fort Knox, but there's a lot more than that. You know that.
Yeah.
So, John, what's one of your favorite places in Maine to go? Even if it's just something a cemetery.
So I used to go to Fort Knox and do spare box for the group that was up there years ago. Like every weekend, I'd go help them out and I'd do spare box in front of groups and get them scared and stuff. But my favorite place ever was the GRCC. It was it's in Rumford. We got crazy videos there. Josh has been there. Josh made a video there.
That's where I first saw you, brother. You had that box that was covered in candle wax, and it had the gin, not the gin, but there's something in that box that you had that they have there. And it's all covered in candle wax and shit, and it's sealed.
Yeah, that wasn't mine. That was Corey's.
Oh, weren't you there for that though?
I was, yeah. I've been been there like a million times.
Wow.
It's probably the most haunted place ever because there's like, if you look at my video on YouTube, it's like just craziness, like balls moving. Like that's the first time I met Corey was there, and it actually the very first night we're there, I was like, "Can you scream out loud?" And something screamed out loud, and he's like, "What?" He's like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And then like a few seconds later, I was like, "Well, I'll try it again. Can you scream again?" And it was like screamed again. And he's like, "Oh my god."
Oh my god.
And another night, it actually screamed my name out loud. And
yes,
the guy
I remember
there was like,
yes, I watched that one. That's where I first started really getting to know you, even though you didn't know me. But I first started stalking you. It was that time because I was like, fuck, Mexico, Maine, Rumford, Maine. I used to deliver there a long time ago for FedEx. And I remember that big hotel downtown Rumford. It's an apartments now, and the Paul Bunyan statue and all that shit. Where the fuck's a rec center? Is that by the hotel or the Paul Bunyan?
It's right on like Main Street, Rumford. It's called the Greater Rumford. Yeah, it's right downtown in Rumford.
Shit.
Right across from this House of Pizza.
But remember, there's a big old historic hotel. It's like 4 stories tall, but it's apartments now. Is it by that?
Yep, it's right around the corner from that.
Okay.
Yep.
I remember seeing that going, look at this fucking huge fucking thing. You ever stayed in that place?
No, I almost rented a place out there, and it was actually, but then Corey's like, "Man, that place is infested with bed bugs. You don't want to stay there." And I'm like, "No, I guess not."
It's pretty historic, but yeah, it's nasty now. Ross, the man, the king, Paranormal King Radio Network, the network we're on, it runs out of Canada every week. I love this guy. He gives me purpose, man. Every Friday I get a radio show, and I get to talk to John Huntington, and we're talking to tonight, and I get to talk to so many fucking people that are just awesome. Ross always like, you always get these people, and they have fantastic stories. Like, oh man, you don't need the same dude that's on every network. I mean, John's been around. But a lot of times I have people that just never, I've had about 5 or 6 people that I've never even been on a show. John's been on plenty of shows, but I appreciate you, King. And you asked a question to John. Have you ever been to the Bridgewater Triangle, which I'm sure you have in Massachusetts?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too far from the house, really. I went there a few times just walking the trails with friends, but I never really investigated it or brought a spare box or anything like that. But I'd love to go down there and check it out for sure.
Yeah, Freetown, Bridgewater, also Fall River, where Lizzie Borden's house is. It connects to all that. It's a big triangle forest. Everything's seen there, from a phantom trucker to satanic rituals have been there, to Bigfoot sightings, to alien sightings, to suicides, to murders, to fucking you name it, dude. It's literally the paranormal paradise, and it's in Massachusetts. Yeah, brother. This is shit that I'd like to do with you and Josh and shit like that. And there's other places too. The Bowden Witch in Bowden, Maine, where there's complete squares, trees. The trees are grown in squares around her grave in Bowdenham, Maine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we got to go there sometime.
I went to some witch's grave out there with Corey years ago.
That must
I can't remember which one it was, though.
That must have been. And then the one in York, the girl that was hung for being herbalist and an exorcist in York Village, Maine. There's a 3-foot concrete slab above her grave, and it's her face on the picture and shit like that. And there's like, dude, people leave gum wrappers and hotel keys and money and condoms, you name it, flowers and sage and weed, all on her grave. There's so much shit, dude, in Maine. You know that, John. Do you ever have plans to leave Maine? Are you going to be a New England boy for life, or would you like to actually live out west or out Midwest?
God, I don't know, man. I take it day by day, you know.
I love that. That a boy. I got a fucking RV. You and me are going to go fucking ghost hunting. If I get $150,000 for this house to split with my sister, fucking you and me, we're going to go for a year.
I feel alive when I'm traveling, like you do. You know,
Same.
You just feel like you're doing the right thing and you're alive, and it's just so fun. It's fun traveling, especially with Josh and Seth and them, man. Like, they just make me feel alive. Like, when they come over to the house to just hang out with me and stuff, they were just like,
I gotta fucking meet Josh.
People.
I'm such a fanboy, and I'm probably 12 years older than the fucking bleach blonde cat. He's such a guff, and I love him. And I say guff with pride because I see him when he had the fucking cave with all the cars and shit, and he gets so hyper, and he's just like a surfer dude. But I see a lot of myself in him and what you guys do. So I would love, seriously, dude, I would love to team up with you guys. I have a bucket list and places a mile long. And I don't share with much because I know there's a lot of copycats out there and there's people, but I feel like we could do some good shit. I know you're busy fucking dude, but your chemistry with Josh is great. And I don't want to be a third wheel, but even just once, I'd love to go to Devil's Rock in Manchester with you guys, Devil's Footprint or something.
He's like the coolest guy. Like, he would definitely let you come with us. I mean,
oh my God, I probably I've met them all, man. I've met Rob Zombie and I've met Peter Steele from Typo Negative. Man, I've met fucking Alexa Bliss and Ronda Rousey, but I am starstruck. When I meet you, I'll probably fucking hug you and take a selfie because I'm that dude. Because you're a good guy in the field, man. We're talking to John Huntington. I've followed this cat for years on Facebook. He's from Maine. He's been around everywhere. He was the Conjuring house caretaker in Rhode Island. You know, the Conjuring, everybody knows the fucking Conjuring. This house was actually like a real historical farmhouse before the movie came out. Have you talked to Corey? I know his health. He just, have you actually dealt? I know this is, and you don't have to answer this, but have you actually dealt with anybody jumping on the property? Have you had to be security guard? You had to have been in that 1 month.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Most of the people were really good about it, though. Like, I never had anybody get violent. I know that there's some people came over kind of violent around when Corey was there, when Josh was filming too. He caught it on camera, like it's on the video, everything.
I remember
but
that.
The time,
that wasn't
the time
set
I would
up.
go outside and they'd leave pretty much. But one night I had a van pull up with 7 people in it, and they all got out, and I all saw them on camera with these lights around their head. And I started filming. I have it on film. Like, it's on I think it's on YouTube and TikTok. And I walk, I go outside, and there's like 7 people lined up, like teenagers. And I just shined a light on them. They all got scared and ran off. So it's pretty funny.
Oh my God. Yeah, you see, that probably took some years off your life. Sure, it was fun. It was a free ride. You get to do some cool shit, but between the ghosts and the people on the property, it's almost not worth it. I feel like even the Lizzie Borden house. That's why these places that aren't really known, when I go to a place, I'm like, oh, no one's here because no one fucking knows about it. The places where everybody knows about, man, you got to risk a lot of shit. It's a plus and minus. We got about 4 minutes left. John, plug everything. Plug your TikTok. Plug your YouTube, please. We got 4 minutes. Say everything right now.
So I just want to say one thing about the Conjuring house before I do the plugs and stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
The best part of the Conjuring house was meeting all the new investigators, and it was fun because most of them would want me to investigate with them. But a lot of times, like, you know me, I get the craziest EVPs sometimes.
Oh,
I would get the craziest shit on voice recorder or something, and they would want to leave early. But that was my favorite. The funnest part was meeting new people. And of course, Corey and Jen, you know, I loved, Jen was like a sister to me and Corey like a brother. I haven't talked to him in a couple months, which is kind of sad, but that's all I wanted to say about the Conjuring house.
No, that's cool because I mean, like you said, you're doing this then and still, even now that it's done, it was a part of your life. But that was a big part, man. You guys were like family. You guys ruled the airwaves on Facebook. Every fucking I went to the farm at Harrisville, Road Top on whatever the house on Round Top, and I would follow you guys and I would see your adventures, and just every night was something new because you're legit in one of the most haunted, well-known haunted houses in America. And
Yeah,
you guys got to meet a lot. Every team went. You know how many people I see their profile picture or their covering photo is the Conjuring house. So you get to meet cool people that respect you and you respect, and that's killer. I'm glad you did that shout out, Jude. Keep going. You get 2 minutes. Roll with it, brother. Seriously, dude, that you're a good dude, and I'm fucking glad you gave that shout out. That's killer.
it's so funny. Like, I see posts every day about Sleepless, Unrest, and it's funny because I used the beginnings of me with the door slams. All the video clips are what I captured over a year, and the last video was me going the spirit box leading me to the cemetery. It actually led me to a cemetery I didn't know existed, and I did it live. And they used all that stuff, but I didn't get anything for it. I got like a free DVD in the mail. But it's cool having all your stuff on a movie. I mean, it's say that, you know. But
I love it. I love it. Well, that's a trip. It's a fucking all right. We gotta get going. Say right. Name your TikTok, name your YouTube, your Facebook. Please name everything you need to name.
My TikTok's just under my name, John Huntington, and my YouTube's under John Huntington or Hauntington. And if you're going exploring with Josh, on Beyond the Dark, there's about 20 different episodes I'm in with him, and then I'm also in The Haunting of Harrisville, and I'm also in on Ghost Adventures of the Harrisville Haunting, playing a priest. You can check me out on Facebook as well.
John Huntington on Facebook. Very professional, dude. You don't think you fucking stuttered once. It was like you're an alien robot yourself. I love this guy. John Huntington, get back to work. We've chewed up an hour and fucking 5 minutes of your time. Thank you so much, everybody in chat. Thank you, John. That was awesome. What a great show. We'll see you guys again, and we're going to get John shooting the vodcast and even probably back on the show, so pay attention to that. Next week, we're not going to be doing an episode because we got Easter weekend off. You guys have a great Easter. Thanks to our guest, John Huntington, Hauntington, and thank you, Paranormal King Radio Network and Historically Haunted Show. We're out, everybody. Have a great night. Be safe, and God bless. Hello, this is Adam Began, and I'm the host of Historically Haunted Show, where I talk about some very rare historical and haunted locations that I visited. I also interview some of the very best in the paranormal and cryptozoology field. So tune in every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Paranormal King Radio Network. And prepare to be educated about the unknown.